What's up, and welcome back to the Dual Sense Podcast. This is episode 102. I'm one of your co hosts, Jason, and I'm joined as always by your other co host, otherwise known as Travis.
Mhm.
Travis, Emerson Big Titties you have there.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're very nice.
Yeah, got them on sale.
Got them on sale at the Target.
Mhm.
Good. Very good. Well, we've been having some technical difficulties for about half an hour and still don't know if it's fixed, but you say I sound okay and that I sound loud enough. So we're gonna find out. I don't know what's happened. It's just shitting the bed, I guess. I don't know if it's the microphone. I don't know if it's my computer. I don't know if it's my USB connections. Who knows? I'm doing okay. I got some Taco Bell for dinner this evening. I was just having a craving. Needed another colon cleanse, so I hit up the Taco Hell and had a quesadilla. And now I'm here fighting my computer and trying to record a podcast with you.
Yeah, we went to the Cracker Barrel.
Oh wow, how was that?
Mhm. There was about 75 nanas in the way.
You
And
gotta
like,
watch out for those meemaws and tatas.
I don't know what it is, but like boomers just stand in the fucking way. Like they don't move, they just stand there. It's like, where are you going? Like I'm trying to walk to the front to put my name in to the wait list. And there's like 6 nanas who were, I guess, were in between doses of their heart medication, so they weren't really alive anymore. And then I had another pawpaw in front of me with a cane, which was a really nice cane that he whittled, but he fucking moved like a sloth. And then he's walking into the doors, and then there's people there. And instead of going right or left, he just stops.
That's
Why are you?
hilarious.
Why would you stop? Go left or right. Don't just stop and stare at them. Is it too hard to go left or right? Like when you're that old and you're on all these like medications, does your brain not think anymore? Like it's incredible.
I think
Like
so.
I don't understand. It's just you have to navigate all the fucking old people who are there for Fish Fry Friday, and like
That is true.
it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, that is true. It is fish fry Friday. Oh my god. Fish fry Friday. It's harder than it sounds. But it's one day that's gonna be me and you though. Just imagine that. We're gonna be like
Which
eight we're
part?
gonna be like well, we're gonna be like 80 and we're gonna meet up at the Cracker Barrel for Fish Friday. We're just gonna be in our own world because we're gonna be doped up and everything else.
Oh God, that sounds great.
Well, Travis, for the uninitiated or the noobs, we are a PlayStation podcast where you and I get together each and every week and we discuss all things news, rumors, new games, and much more in the world of PlayStation. We post new episodes every Monday on all of the usual podcast services, as well as YouTube, where you can also find gameplay videos from all of the things that we play. I posted some Arcade Again today, actually, and I've been posting some Crusader Kings 3. I'm hopefully going to have several rendered and ready to go while I'm gone on vacation. You can also find us on social media, of course. Our Twitter is at the DualSense Pod. You can also find us on Instagram, which is the DualSense Podcast, where we share game stream or not game streams, but game photos, virtual photography. We also have a Facebook page if you use Facebook for some reason. And we also have a blog, which is dualsensepodcast.wordpress.com. And before we move on to the news, I did want to remind everyone that we will not have a normal episode next week. Travis and I are both officially on vacation. So we have already recorded a very special episode with a special guest. It will be coming out in place of episode 103. So that will be next week. And then we'll get back to you the following week as normally scheduled. So without further ado, Travis, let's jump into a big week of news as we had Summer Game Fest. Number one, Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest took place this week, and while he did warn us to temper our expectations, it seemed a bit tame for a summer game showcase. Here is a recap of everything we saw that was relevant to PlayStation. The show led off with a Street Fighter 6 gameplay trailer, and it was followed by Aliens Dark Descent, a real time strategy game which is coming in 2023 to both PS4 and PS5. After that was the Callisto Protocol, which has been revealed, but we got a new trailer with some raw gameplay. We also got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, in the form of a level playthrough. It was about 7 minutes of gameplay. After that was Flashback 2, a sequel to the 30-year-old original, which is coming to both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 at some point in the future. Dark fantasy first-person shooter Witchfire brought a gameplay trailer. It was first announced way back at the Game Awards in 2017, so it reappeared, but it's still unclear if it's coming to consoles or not. Third-person survival thriller game Fort Solis was announced from indie developer Fallen Leaf Games. The game stars Red Dead Redemption 2 actor Roger Clark and The Last of Us actor Troy Baker, and it's being developed on Unreal Engine 5. After that was a gameplay trailer for Outriders expansion, which is called World Slayer, launches on June the 30th. Fall Guys shared a free-to-play trailer. It is going free-to-play, if you'll remember, on June 21st, as previously reported. Then developer Frost Giant Studios, which is a team made up of former StarCraft developers from Blizzard, announced their first project, which is a free-to-play real-time strategy game developed on Unreal Engine 5 as well, and it's called Stormgate. It will include a variety of both cooperative and competitive modes and will host a beta sometime in 2023. Following that was a post-climate change adventure strategy game called High Water from indie developer Rogue Games. It was announced and is coming later this year. Big Brother-inspired adventure game American Arcadia was announced and it is coming to consoles later this year. Goat Simulator 3 was announced and it is coming to PlayStation this fall. And that was a little bit of a troll. It kind of looked like a Dead Island 2 trailer for a split second. After that was turn-based strategy game Marvel's Midnight Suns. They brought a new trailer and announced that it will release on October 7th. Pre-orders are available now if you're interested. And one other interesting note about the game is that Spider-Man will be included in the game on Xbox after he was exclusive to PlayStation for Marvel's Avengers. In fact, Spider-Man will be voiced in Marvel's Midnight Suns by Yuri Lowenthal, the same voice actor for PlayStation's Spider-Man game. Kind of interesting. A new trailer for Cuphead DLC called A Delicious Last Course. See what they did there, DLC. It is releasing on June 30th on PS4. We got a new gameplay trailer for the awesome-looking action game Midnight Fight Express. It's the game developed by a one-man developer from Poland. You'll remember. It is launching on PS4 on August 23rd, and it looks like John Wick meets Cyberpunk a little bit. After that was developer Digital Extremes, who shared a teaser trailer for a new Warframe DLC called the Duviri Paradox. Developer Hoyoverse shared a new trailer for their open world space JRPG Star Rail. And then right after that, they also showed a trailer for their third person open world action game Zenless Zone Zero. Or if you're, like I said the last time that was on the show, Zenless Zone Zero. Then we saw action brawler Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, which was officially revealed to launch on June 16th on PS4 after previously being leaked earlier in the week. It was also revealed that Casey Jones will be a playable character and the game will support 6 players in both local and online co-op. Civilization simulation game Humankind was revealed to be coming to both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 on November the 4th. Pre-order that now, actually. After that, a new trailer for JRPG Soul Hackers 2 was shown, and it is launching on August the 26th. Capcom Arcade Stadium 2 brought a new trailer for its launch date of July the 22nd. A demo for heavy metal rhythm first-person shooter Metal Hellsinger Shadow dropped during the show, and they shared a new gameplay trailer as well. It will launch on September the 15th. Story-based horror game The Quarry was up next, and they shared a launch trailer for the game, which is out now and getting pretty good reviews. A Saints Row player customization demo called Boss Factory, which leaked earlier in the week. Shadow dropped on PlayStation during the show as well and shared a new trailer. Developer Bloober Team shared a trailer for their horror sequel Layers of Fears. It is coming to PS5 in early 2023. Warner Brothers Games showed off a new Gotham Knights gameplay trailer, and that game looks worse every time they show it. And then finally, the show ended with Naughty Dog's Neil Druckmann, who was live in person at the show, where he officially revealed The Last of Us Part 1 remake coming to PlayStation 5 and later to PC. Unfortunately, it leaked a couple of hours prior to the show thanks to the PlayStation Direct store fumbling massively. The game has been rebuilt from the ground up for PlayStation 5, including support for features like 3D audio, the DualSense controller, and a significant leap in graphical fidelity. It is launching on September the 2nd, and it will cost $70 for the standard edition, while a physical Firefly edition costs $100 and has already sold out on PlayStation Direct. Druckmann also confirmed that The Last of Us multiplayer is in fact a standalone game and is quote unquote big, as big or bigger than their previous games, according to him. It will feature a brand new story and a new cast of characters, but he said we will not learn more about the game until 2023. Although he did show off a piece of concept art which reveals the game will be set in San Francisco. Neil also revealed that the last day of filming on HBO's The Last of Us series took place on June 10th, and that the game's main actors Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson have roles on the show as well. He added that the show is, quote, closer than you think, end quote. And finally, he confirmed that he himself is working on a brand new project at Naughty Dog, although they are not ready to reveal any details. Okay, so that's everything that we saw from the Summer Game Fest showcase. What did you think about the show, or did anything stand out to you here from what we saw?
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed boring. It just seemed like a lot of production value for not a lot of anything. I mean, there's some things that are interesting that kind of popped up while we were going through it. I mean, we knew we were going to see something about Modern Warfare 2, and the gameplay level playthrough just didn't really do a lot for me. I don't know what I wanted to see, but that wasn't
Sure.
it. It was better than just seeing like a stupid cinematic trailer. I hate those anyway, but like it was better than that, sure. But it seemed like there was
Right.
some people online who saw the level playthrough and got so much out of it. Like they're walking around with huge fucking boners, and like to me, it was just like okay, like I just whatever. But it's fine. I already know what it is. I don't really need that, but I don't really know what I expected. But they just didn't hit it for me. It's nice to see Outriders is still supported. The Fall
Yeah.
Guys free to play trailer, like I don't know why I need that. Why do I need that? I know what the game is. I know it's free to
Right.
play. Like at this point, if you don't know what Fall Guys is, I mean, where have you been at this point? Like where the fuck have you been? I just because it's so what it is and what it looks like is so unique. Like you've
Sure.
seen it somewhere if you play video games. So I don't know that I needed a trailer. I feel like they just did that to keep marketing busy to justify their paycheck. Post climate change adventure strategy game could be interesting. Like that could be
Hmm.
okay. We'll see, I guess. Same thing with this Big Brother inspired adventure game. Both of those could be interesting, but I kind of need more. Ghost Simulator. I mean, that's cool. I'm glad this thing exists. I'm glad there's now 3 of them. The Marvel's turn-based game doesn't do a lot for me, but it did. I think the fact that Spider-Man is no longer exclusive to PlayStation might be one of the bigger news stories out of all of Summer Game Fest. Like that's interesting to me. That's kind of a
Yeah.
thing that we had or PlayStation had, and then now it's kind of gone. But it's cool that Yuri does all the voices, so at least there's some continuity there between the characters. Yeah, again, like we talked about before, I'm all in on this Midnight Fight Express game that one guy is making. Like this is really cool, so
Yeah.
I may buy it just to support him, even if I might not play it or really like it. I will still probably buy it to support him because I think it's pretty remarkable that he even has gotten this far. But it does look fun, so you know, nothing to really complain about there. But I think it'll be cool. Of course, we knew Shredder's Revenge was going to come out. Something about it was going to come out during the show. Everybody seems to be on board with it. I guess I would say this is one of maybe the second biggest thing to come out of the show. Like if you're ranking them for an article, this would be number 2.
Okay.
I actually do like the artwork. I know cousin John said he wasn't a big fan of the way it was designed.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. I know what he means by like, it kind of can look cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever. What do you call that art style? Don't you call it? It's kind of comic booky, but kind of
A little bit pixelated,
pixelated.
like.
Yeah, like Sega ish.
Mm.
But that's fine. I get it. It's an interesting game. I don't know if it's for me, but I think it will do well. Like I told you guys in the group chat, I don't have 6 friends, so probably can't play it. Other than that, the FPS metal game is just weird to me and kind of fun in a weird way. There's some people at work that play Quarry, so I'm gonna or are gonna start playing Quarry this week so after vacation. I'm gonna try to link up with them to kind of get some opinions on them from them to see what they kind of think about it.
Oh, they are gonna play it.
Yeah, I'm not,
Oh, okay.
but a couple there's 2 guys at work who are gonna play it, so I'm gonna talk to them about it and see what they think.
Nice.
They're both super excited, so I'm sure they'll love it. Gotham Knights, man, like, if we went back to opening day when this thing got announced, I think a lot of us were pretty excited about what it could be. And like you said, it just gets worse every time. I,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just
it's
not it.
really astonishing.
It's just not it. And then the last thing, obviously, is The Last of Us Part One remake, and then to me, that would be your big headline out of the whole show.
Mhm.
I kind of go back and forth on this. Like, in a sense, everything they're doing with it, the 3D audio, the DualSense stuff, the graphic fidelity, the graphic jump is a pretty awesome. To be fair, like when you look at the screenshots, it's pretty awesome.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it's really good. So like you can make the argument that it's needed and deserved. I don't disagree with that. I will say that I'm burnt out on remakes and director's cuts.
Yeah, I
So
know you are.
so like I just kind of don't give a fuck. Like I get it. You remade a game that you've already made and made it pretty. Congratulations. Like whatever. It doesn't do a lot for me, but a lot of people are excited, so good for them again. The
Mhm.
multiplayer game is kind of what I was hoping to see more of, but at least he talked about it, right? At least Neil said, "Hey, it's, next year you're going to
Right,
see
they
some stuff."
acknowledged
So,
it.
thank you for that at least. And then he also acknowledged the new Naughty Dog game. So, that's exciting.
He did.
Uh
He
my
did.
my guess is it's going to be called Charted: The First of Us, and it's going to combine both games. That's my guess.
Oh, that would be something. That'd be something.
Yeah, overall nothing crazy. Like, I wanted to see more Ragnarok stuff, which we'll get to. I wanted to see some stuff from Wolverine. I wanted to see Twisted Metal. There's another game I texted you about that I'd forgotten about, but I wanted to see. You had tweeted about that Crimson. What's it called? Crimson something.
Crimson Desert, yeah, we didn't
Yeah,
see that.
I wanted to see more of that. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe the things I wanted to see weren't there, so it just wasn't as interesting to me. But it wasn't as interesting to me as the state of play.
Yeah, overall, I think the show was good, not great. I would probably give it like a like a B minus maybe, something like that. I'm a little bit more positive on it than other people are, which that maybe that's the case most of the time, I think, with stuff like this. But I think a big part of the issue for people is that a lot of the piss got taken out of it when The Last of Us leaked 2 hours before the show, because
That's fair.
that was obviously supposed to be like the big, banger at the end. Like, holy shit, we got this coming, So we didn't get to enjoy that feeling because PlayStation leaked it themselves, which is amazing. But I'll just kind of run through some things here, kind of like you did. I did want to mention, because I just saw that Street Fighter 6 Capcom just confirmed that it will have crossplay between consoles when it launches. So that's a big deal, I think, but it's not for me. The Aliens Dark Descent game looks really cool. I'm a big strategy game nerd, so real time strategy in
Hmm.
particular. So,
And you're an alien, so it's perfect.
and I'm an alien and I'm dark, and why not descend? So, yeah, I'm keeping my eye on that one. Definitely interested in that. And I read an article about it today with some additional info on top of the trailer that we saw. So, yeah, interested in that one. The Callisto Protocol looks insane. Like
Nope,
it
nope.
looks really good. Like it looks like a good game, but I don't think I can do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think I couldn't do Dead Space. So if I couldn't
Hmm.
do Dead Space back in the day, then why would I be able to do this magically?
Yeah, it's like the sirens in Greek mythology. Like they look beautiful, but then they
Yeah,
eat you.
correct. So I have this game on my wish list on PlayStation Store, but I don't think I'll ever pull the trigger. And then Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which we're going to talk some more about in a little bit. But the gameplay that we saw during the show, I thought it looked good, but it didn't necessarily. In a way, it looked like more Call of Duty. But with that said, it looks like more of the Call of Duty that I like. it definitely looks more appealing to me than Vanguard, which I haven't played, and Black Ops Cold War. Definitely looks better than that from what we've seen so far. Still can't figure out how that Fallen Leaf studio got Arthur Morgan and Joel from The Last of Us to make this Fort Solis game. That's pretty interesting to me. Also, up until that point, like right there when they showed Fort Solis, like this was pretty much like Dead Space Fest. It was all like these sci-fi space horror games mostly. Like you had aliens, then you had the Callisto Protocol, and then you had that Fort Solis game. I was like, what the fuck? Are we gonna get anything else out of this? So then let's see. The Marvel's Midnight Suns game looks neat, but I'm just not a huge Marvel guy. I don't know if I want to do a Marvel strategy game.
Mm-hmm. Marvel SOCOM.
Yeah, Marvel SOCOM. Midnight Fight Express, like you said, that looks really cool. It's like like I said, John Wick kind of cross with cyberpunk type of thing. So I'm gonna keep my eye on that. I wish it was getting a PS5 version, but maybe it will later.
I mean, he's only one man.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I can't I can't be too mad about that. And then the Hoyoverse games, those aren't for me. That's a bunch of Chinese communist stuff there. Pretty sure that they have Tencent partially owns them or some shit. Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge looks really cool. I don't have six friends either, so there's that. Humankind, another strategy game. So this was all strategy games and sci-fi horror games, is what the show was. But Humankind looks cool, but I don't know if I'll play that or not. It kind of seems a little bit like too much for me. Yeah, the quarry looks awesome. I'm probably gonna wait for that on sale to pick that up. It's getting good reviews. I did download the Saints Row player customization demo because I have that game pre-ordered, so I'm gonna mess around with that.
Yeah, that is interesting. That I think that's an interesting thing to have. I didn't
Yeah,
touch on that, but that is really an interesting idea.
yeah, I agree. So my understanding is that the character, obviously, that you create in this, it will, you can import when the game launches, and it looked like from the trailer that they're going to let you customize a vehicle and a gun as well. So maybe you'll start with like a vehicle and a gun that you customize. I don't know. I
God,
guess
don't get
we'll find.
don't get that wrong.
Yeah, I know. I guess we'll see. Gotham Knights. God, I just don't. That game does not appeal to me, and it appeals, like I said, less and less to me the more they show of it. And then, of course, the show ending with the big one, which leaked, as I said, The Last of Us Part One remake. It looks, from a graphical standpoint, like a huge leap. It looks really good. And there's been a lot of people online saying, "Well, I don't see it. It doesn't look that much better than the remaster
Are
that
they
they did for
blind?
PS4." Yeah, exactly. Are you blind? Like they showed side by side screenshots and gameplay, like from the trailer, and it's fucking night and day. Like it's not even close. I'm sorry. And if you can't see the massive difference, then I would invite you to get an eye exam. Now, if you want to argue that $70 is a little steep, then I think you might have a point. But this is the precedent that PlayStation is setting. I'm trying. Well, was Ghost of Tsushima $50? No, it was $70, wasn't it? I
Yeah,
think for the director's cut on PS5.
yeah, but it was good.
I take issue with your insinuation that The Last of Us is not good.
No, I'm just saying it was worth it. Like we don't know yet;
Oh,
it's not
okay.
out. I would be willing to bet it will be worth it. I'm just
Yeah,
sometimes you know how it is. They'll charge you these $70 games, and it's like nothing is different, or it's terrible.
sure. Well, from what we've seen so far, like the graphical upgrade, the fact that it's getting the PS5 treatment, like with the DualSense features, like adaptive triggers and feedback and 3D audio and all that, faster load times, obviously. Like to me, that I think it's worth $70. So much so that I've pre-ordered it. But I can understand if you don't get it or you wait for a sale, etc. But I haven't played the original Last of Us since the remaster launched on PS4. I guess that 2013 or 2014 that it came out. So that's the last time I played the first game. So for me, it's I consider it worth it. Now on to the other things here. The multiplayer game, I absolutely thought that we were going to see that here. I'm a little
Yeah.
surprised that we didn't, other than the concept art. The fact that it's well, they didn't say it's coming in 2023. They said we would hear more about it in 2023. It's obviously made me go back and wonder what are the two live service titles that are still coming by the end of March. I think this is still one of them,
Mm,
but I think it's coming in the first quarter of next year,
mhm.
is what potentially it sounds like. But so I still don't know what the other one could be. I don't know if I mean it wouldn't make sense to put out the Twisted Metal thing this year because it seems too far away from the show. So what is it? Or is it something like just stupid that we don't know about yet? Is it just going to be like, you know what I'm saying? Is it going to
Mhm,
be just like a little game like Fall Guys?
mhm.
I say little in quotes, but or is it going to be like you know, a first party IP? Is
You
it going to be
like an actual game is what you wanted to say?
yeah, what I want to say is like an actual game. Is it going to be something on the scale of The Last of Us or yeah, Heartlands or whatever? I don't know. It's interesting because now I'm back to kind of the drawing board, other than the fact that I still would say that factions, whatever they're going to call it, The Last of Us multiplayer is still going to be one of the two. It's just going to come out in January or February. It's going to come out very close to the show. Whenever the HBO show comes out, it's going to be in close proximity, is my guess on that. And then the other thing that he mentioned about the show there that it's closer than you think. So the thought has been that it would be coming out next year because they had to finish some filming or redo some re shoot some things. I don't know. Maybe it does come out late this year, and then Factions is after it sometime next year. It's hard to say, but yeah, it was a good little update from Naughty Dog, and like you said, I think just kind of to wrap up here the Summer Game Fest talk, it is exciting for them to finally acknowledge both the multiplayer game and the fact that they're working on a new game that is not the remake of The Last of Us. That's not the multiplayer game. There's a third something, as we've speculated, that they're working on. And the two rumors that we've heard so far are that very vague that it's a sci-fi game, and the other is that it's some type of like fantasy setting, like maybe medieval setting or something like that, like The Witcher or something. So we'll have to wait and see. Number two, with God of War Ragnarok and no showing at the Summer Game Fest showcase this week, we were left to wonder if perhaps the game might not make it out in 2022. Prior to the show, Twitter account PlayStation Game Size discovered that God of War Ragnarok's PSN database placeholder date shifted from September the 30th to December 31st, indicating a shift from a third quarter release date to a fourth quarter release date. Later the same day, a website called a Game Reactor reported on a rumor that Ragnarok had been delayed to 2023, but those rumors were quickly debunked by Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier, as well as the former creator of God of War, David Jaffe. Later in the week, Schreier reported that according to his sources, Ragnarok is coming sometime in November, with two sources telling him the release date would be revealed by the end of June, perhaps indicating that another state of play is happening soon. All right, so no God of War as I had predicted at the show. We still don't have a release date, but what do you make of all this?
I think the writing that we wouldn't see God of War was on the wall, but as with most things, most people don't want to see that, especially like you know how it is. You've been blinded into game love before, and you just don't even want to believe it. You're like, yeah, they're gonna show it, and then they don't. You've been
Yeah.
that way with Devil Inside. So what's interesting is there's nothing there. We don't know. We hear that it's delayed, right? That the date is shifted from September or something. We then hear it's moved to next year, probably Q1, and then all of a sudden we get all this noise about it's definitely in November. Wink, 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 wink. So
Hmm.
I just think that's really interesting. Like, why not just announce it at this point? Especially if you go and read the sources that are saying November, and I mean, not now. Like by the time you hear this, every source will say November. If you go back, if there was a way to go back to like you know the 9th of June and see what the sources were saying, you can kind of see the smoke right there. Like people with legitimate sources are saying November. It's going to be November. But I thought we had talked about there being another PlayStation showcase in like September.
Hmm. That's a rumor at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, and like so what I if that's true, let's just this whole theory is based off of that, but we get a date we get some sort of God of War announcement release date within the next 30 to 40 days, whatever that is. It'd be something kind of big and alone, like not a state of play on its own, but like it'll be separate from everything else. Like in a way, it kind of deserves that, I think. And we know we'll see little bits and pieces of it, and then at that last state of play, that's like a month before, I think we'll get some like legitimate gameplay footage, right? That will really kind of nail home what we're getting and kind of really push us into the, I guess you call it the pre-order phase of the game. So that's kind of how I feel.
Mm.
If there's a state of play in September, that I think that the God of War will be the flagship content of the show.
Yeah, I really truly believe that you could have taken it to the bank that God of War was going to be at Summer Game Fest. I was really surprised that it wasn't there, but I think people were surprised that a lot of things weren't there before the show. Even with the change in the database placeholder, that really had people worried. But which the weird thing about the rumor that it was delayed to 2023 is like, where do you go? Like, where do you take the fact that it changed to December 31st placeholder, which is a placeholder for the fourth quarter? Like,
Hmm.
where do you read that and then take off and run that it's delayed to 2023? Like, that just seemed really clickbaity to me. But it doesn't get much more stone cold lock than Jason Schreier as far as reporting in the industry. And if he is hearing that it's coming this year, and if he's hearing that it's coming in November, then it's probably coming this year, and it's probably coming in November. The really ultimate troll would be is if PlayStation released God of War Ragnarok on November 11th, because Starfield, which was supposed to be Xbox's real big
Mm.
release this year, was supposed to come out on November the 11th because they wanted to hit that 11/11/22 date. So I don't think PlayStation will do that, just because I don't think they like to necessarily play
Petty
dirty
games. Yeah.
that overtly.
Hmm.
But if they did, that would be just kind of a funny little troll.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun little thing. Does it matter when it comes out? No, but if they did that, it's just kind of a fun little like jab, I think. But yeah, it sounds like, according to Jason's sources, there's going to be some type of like show, or not a showcase, but like a stream or something highlighting God of War by the end of June. Maybe a blog post, but it feels like they're going to want to show us like some raw
Right.
gameplay. So there is a precedent for like these standalone states of
Hmm.
play. They did one for like Horizon, for instance. So they could do a God of War state of play that's literally just like 15, 16, 17 minutes, and it's all about God of War. That's a possibility, but it sounds like we're not going to have to wait much longer. So with that said, if that's going to happen, then we have the slate for the rest of the year figured out. We know The Last of Us remake September, we know Forspoken October, and we know God of War Ragnarok November. Which means that, as we've talked about before, we now will have to begin shifting our focus to 2023 after that. And we don't know any release dates for any games in 2023. And if I remember correctly, the only game dated 2023 is from PlayStation Studios anyway, is Spider-Man 2.
Hmm.
So I think that adds fuel to the fire to the speculation that we're going to get a bigger showcase at some point later in the year. September definitely seems like a likely candidate because that they did that last year. So, but at some point, as soon as they get that Ragnarok release date out of the way, at some point they're gonna have to start talking. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna have to tell us what the fuck is going on and what we can expect next year. So we'll see. But God of War Ragnarok, not delayed. Looks like it's coming in November. Number three, Hideo Kojima and his studio Kojima Productions are working on more than just Death Stranding 2. As insider Tom Henderson reported this week that Kojima has a third person horror game in development called Overdose. Henderson said he had seen footage of the game in what sounded like some sort of trailer. The game will star actress Margaret Qualley as the main character. Qualley previously starred as Mama in Death Stranding, but is most known for her small screen roles in HBO's The Leftovers and Netflix's Maid. It is unknown if the title will come to PlayStation, as there have been previous rumors that Kojima is working on an Xbox exclusive title. So it is possible that Overdose is his Xbox project, while Death Stranding 2 is his PlayStation project. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I guess this could be only Xbox and Death Stranding 2 be PlayStation. I could see that. Again, I still believe it when I see it if there's a standalone Xbox game from Kojima
Sure.
that actually exists. This the name is interesting because it makes me wonder if it's going to be some sort of fable about drugs and kind of an overarching
Interesting.
criticism of society, which would not surprise me coming from Kojima, really. But I think that remember like last month when he was tweeting all these pictures and I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Like he had to be working on this.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
now I kind of want to go back and look at all that stuff and see if we can figure out like what the Easter eggs are in it because there were some there. But I'm really excited to see. Again, I'm not going to play a horror game. Like to me, there's just no. I don't. There's no reason in my life to be scared. I don't want to be scared, so I'm never gonna. I'm gonna avoid it at all costs. But I think this could be actually pretty sweet. Like I will enjoy watching people get scared playing it. So I'm all in if that's the case.
Yeah, as everyone knows, I'm also not a horror fan, but I'm always intrigued by horror games like the Callisto Protocol that we talked about earlier, for instance. I'll be intrigued by whatever Kojima makes, but having seen clips of that horror game demo, Silent Hill demo that he did called PT on PS4, that is terrifying. So I don't think I have the stones to play this game if it is a full blown horror game and if it even comes to PlayStation first or secondarily. So we'll see. Like you said, it would be odd to see a Kojima game only on Xbox. That would be weird. Not impossible, especially not the realm we live in today where all these developers and publishers are getting bought out. So we'll see about that. Number 4, Activision and Infinity Ward held the official worldwide reveal of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 this week. They graced us with our first trailer for the game and revealed that it will of course include a new campaign featuring Task Force 141, an evolved cooperative special ops mode, and Warzone 2.0, which we learned will also be coming to last gen consoles, but will not launch the same day as Modern Warfare 2. PS5 players get the latest and greatest next gen features, including 3D audio, DualSense feature support, and higher visual fidelity. The next day at the Summer Game Fest showcase, Infinity Ward showed the aforementioned raw gameplay demo from a campaign mission. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 launches October 28th on PS4 and PS5, and pre orders are now available, although there is no $60 version this year, even on last gen. So the base edition is $70 no matter where you play.
I'm fine with the money being the same across the board. Maybe it'll
Mhm.
weed some people out of the PS4 faster that way. Like I'm ready to move on. Like we said before, cut them off. Let's move on. Yeah. So I mean, we'll all probably end up with this version of Call of Duty. We loved the original Modern Warfare 2. I think maybe we played it the most. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we were in college back then. And we had a lot more time, but I remember crushing the first two Call of Duties,
Mhm.
Modern Warfare's. I mean, and maybe the first Black Ops. But I remember the first Black Ops not being as fun
Correct.
as. But I remember we played it a lot. We were still in the next year will be better mode, and then after that it wasn't ever good again. It seems like,
Right.
but no, it'll be dope. The PS5 features will be really really cool. Even the DualSense features were good on. Even though the game sucked per se, everything I've read says the DualSense features are good on Vanguard, so that'll be nice transition. I'm sure it'll be good. I am interested in the special ops co-op. We always play that, and we're always dog shit at it. So maybe this will be the year where we're okay at it.
Right. Yeah, I'm extremely excited about Modern Warfare 2. It looks really good, and 2019 Modern Warfare was maybe my favorite Call of Duty game. So yeah, that makes me very excited about this year's game. I think they're still holding back some information about the game. I mean, obviously, right, but there's still that other game mode that Tom Henderson has talked about that's like called DMZ or something like that.
Oh yeah,
So we at least we think it's a game mode. Maybe it's a part of one of these other modes, like maybe it's a part of Warzone or something like that. But there's still a lot that we don't know. But man, it looks so good. And like you said, Modern Warfare 2 was an event. back in the day. When it came out, that's all anybody was talking about. Like you said, we were in college. You would go eat somewhere, and that's all anybody was talking about. You'd go to class, and like on the way to class, all you could hear people talking about is Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2. So,
Yeah, that's all we did too.
yes,
I wasn't. I mean, like, it was almost like there weren't other video games.
correct.
I don't
Yeah,
know if that'll happen again.
that is true. Although this year is, I mean, other than some of the Sony games,
Yeah,
there's really not a lot coming out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
yeah, there's God of War, yeah, there's The Last of Us, and then Modern Warfare is going to be sandwiched right between those two.
yeah. Maybe it will be then. I mean, like it was so weird back then because I mean, pretty much the only two games that we played were Call of Duty and NCAA football, and by played I mean like more than just the story.
Right,
Not that there's a story on a sports game, but you know what I mean. Like
right.
it seems like once we got past that, like at the end of the PS4, we had so
Mhm.
many good games that were all over the place, whether they were indie games or twin stick shoot, like all kinds of stuff, RPG, like The Witcher, all kinds of crazy shit, right? But it seemed
Yeah.
like that year that Modern Warfare 2 first came out, that was like all that we had. And so this year's kind of lining up in a similar way. That's a good point. Like this might be similar to where there's only going to be like two games, and once you beat
Mhm.
God of War, I guess you're going to go back to Call of Duty.
Well, the other thing about that time for us was that when you're in college, you don't have a bunch of money. So you might be able to buy like 3 or 4 games a year. You know what I mean? So we had Modern Warfare, we had NCAA football, etc. But yeah, it really expanded my palette after college.
Mhm.
And like you said, then to your point, the other change is that PS4 really started with PS3 too, but I just didn't really branch out too much. But PS4 especially, we started to get just all kinds of good games,
Mhm.
and they all looked good. And then that was like, PS4 is, I think, a really important generation when things started to change because you started to get so many games that were so high quality. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, very excited about Modern Warfare 2. So much so that I already have it pre-ordered as well.
Good lord.
Number 5, Sony revealed the most downloaded games for the month of May on the PlayStation Store this week. On PlayStation 5, number 1 was Evil Dead, the game. Incredible. That's amazing.
Right.
Second was NBA 2K22, followed by Elden Ring at 3, MLB The Show 22 at 4, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga at 5, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Ghostwire Tokyo, Sniper Elite 5, Salt and Sacrifice, Trek to Yomi, The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, It Takes Two, Gran Turismo 7, Mortal Kombat 11, WWE 2K22, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Horizon Forbidden West, Call of Duty Vanguard, Cyberpunk 2077, and NHL 22 at 20 on PlayStation 5. Over on PS4, the most downloaded game was NBA 2K22, Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto 5, MLB The Show 22, Red Dead Redemption 2, Elden Ring, Evil Dead the Game, The Forest, there it is, back again, Injustice 2, Batman Arkham Knight, Star Wars Battlefront 2, The Sims 4, Marvel Spider Man, Friday the 13th, the game, Gang Beast, The Skywalker Saga, Call of Duty Vanguard, The Crew 2, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, and Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Wow, at number 20. On PSVR, Beat Saber was the most downloaded game, followed by Job Simulator, Vader Immortal, Super Hot, Skyrim VR, Astrobot Rescue Mission, Sniper Elite VR, Doom 3, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, and Rick and Morty Virtual Reality. And then in free to play, Fortnite was the most downloaded game, followed by Ubisoft's Roller Champions at number 2, Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt, Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, Rocket League, Rec Room, Destiny 2, Brawlhalla, and Genshin Impact. Anything jump out at you?
Yeah, and as per usual, nothing in free to play or VR except Sniper Elite in VR. So VR2 will probably involve me playing Sniper Elite. On the 4, nothing really. What I thought was interesting about the 4 was we had The Forest back, Injustice 2, and then Batman Arkham Knight. Like, I thought that was an interesting 3 in a row there. Friday the 13th is back on there, which is interesting too. And then Black Ops 3 really shows you kind of how bad Vanguard actually is. That people are re-downloading that. There's kind of seems to be a void there with Battlefield being dog shit as well. On the 5, Evil Dead, like what's happening?
Yeah, I know.
Then we got
That
two,
game's huge.
right, and then we got two Star Wars games at like fifth and sixth. So that, obviously that IP is doing fine. By IP, I mean whatever you're gonna call it, that license is doing fine there. I'm surprised at Ghostwire Tokyo. I thought Sniper Elite might be higher, but again, it's a game that I've played all of them, so maybe I just think it's better than it is. But you can't be mad. If it was outside the top 10, I'd be worried about it, but I think it will still do well for what it is.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk jumping up, that's interesting there. Other than that, nothing too crazy there to me.
Yeah, I think Evil Dead the game is the biggest story from this. That's really crazy for it to launch in the number one spot, most downloaded game. I know that I had read a story that the game has sold over 500,000 copies in the first 5 days. So it's doing very well for a multiplayer only title, but also for a horror game. That's an IP that I think is, I mean, the Evil Dead movies are very well regarded. Don't get me wrong. So yeah, that's huge that it's there. NBA 2K22, no surprise really. Ghostwire Tokyo at 7 is interesting. It's really hanging in there. That's a good game. I can't handle the performance of it. It's really poor. Gran Turismo 7 kind of took a big dive there. I think it was in the top 5 last month if I remember right, maybe the last 2 months. And then Horizon Forbidden West, is it even on? Yeah, it is. There it is. It's toward the bottom there. I don't know how well it's selling, which is a shame because it's a great game. On PS4, The Forest is there per usual. Uh, that game's almost like Spider-Man Miles Morales, which interestingly is not on the PS5 list this month. Yeah, it's not there. So that is interesting. It's finally out there. The MPD numbers come out next week, so we'll have to see if it's on the MPD numbers. Nothing really to say about PSVR, and then Roller Champion somehow getting in there at number 2 on free to play. I don't think it's that good. All right, Travis, number 6. We have a bunch of news nuggets as well. Feel free to jump in here wherever you please. First nugget, multiple outlets reported this week that rollerblade combat game Rollerdrome may be part of August PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium games, as we discussed last week. As your boy already told you all last week, I've already figured it out. Travis said I was crazy, that I needed a tinfoil hat. You're fucking welcome. Next nugget, Netflix revealed or shared new trailers for a number of video game related animated shows this week. Castlevania Nocturne, Dragon Age Absolution, Tekken Bloodline, and Cyberpunk 2077, which releases in September with 10 episodes.
Which one has 10? All of them?
Cyberpunk. I'm vaguely interested in the Tekken show, and definitely interested in checking out the Cyberpunk show. So we'll see about those. Next nugget, head of PlayStation creators Greg Rice took to the PlayStation blog this week to reveal a few new indie games coming to PlayStation. Open world fly simulator Time Flies, great name, from developer Playables is coming to PS4 and PS5 in 2023. Minimalist swimming exploration game NAIAD, Naiad, from developer High Warp is launching October 1st on PS4 and PS5. Previously announced puzzle platformer exploration game Animal Well from developer Shared Memory is coming to PS5 in either quarter 4 of this year or the first quarter of next year. And cooperative puzzle game Escape Academy from developer Coin Crew Games is coming to PS4 and PS5 on July 14th. The what is that game? Naiad. That game looks very cool, very striking art style. So I've got my eye on that one.
I can pretend to be a fly.
Correct.
Right. Did you know that we've mapped all the neurons in a fruit fly's brain?
Oh wow, how many?
Like 100,000?
Oh, doesn't seem like very much.
I know. I think a human brain is like 100 billion. So we're not close to that. But it's interesting that we got a fly. Yeah, now I'm interested in this fly game. Like, I feel like it's going to be like the goose game. You just fly around and be annoying.
I watched the trailer for it, somewhat. I can't. I didn't watch it all the way through.
Mhm,
It's something, but that NAID game,
mhm.
NIAD, that I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen a game that has the art style of that game. It almost looks like not watercolor, like maybe somewhat watercolor, but like more of like Crayola marker
Hmm.
art style. But like you know when you would color as a kid with the Crayola markers, and then like you drip, you know, something wet on it, and it would kind of smear like so, almost like watercolor, but not really. Is the art style anyway? Next nugget. Website Video Games Chronicle reported that the Entertainment Software Association announced they will bring back E3 in 2023 with both in person and digital events. Yeah, right.
I didn't even know that
We'll
was
see.
a thing. I didn't know the Internet Entertainment Software Association was an association.
You didn't know it was an association?
I didn't know it was a thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Also, EA and DICE launched Battlefield 2042 Season 1 called Zero Hour this week, which fans are affectionately calling Zero Content.
I love it.
It feature it features a new map, 2 new guns, a new gadget, 2 new vehicles, and the first battle pass with 100 tiers of cosmetic items to unlock. They also revealed that future maps starting with Season 2 will only support 64 players, while the original maps and the new Season 1 map will continue to support 28. Senior producer Ryan MacArthur also told website Multiplayer First that there is currently no end date for Battlefield 2042 support. Elsewhere, insider Jeff Grubb said that he has heard EA only has a quote unquote skeleton crew working on the game, only doing the bare minimum to meet their post launch obligations, saying that the team is in abandoned ship. EA later publicly denied the claim.
Yeah, so two things. They're definitely on a skeleton crew, and
Yes,
there's definitely a whiteboard with an end date for content.
absolutely, 100%. 100%. I haven't got to play the update though, but people are saying that it's fun.
Hmm.
So, I mean, maybe not enough content in their mind, but people are saying it's fun. And I've recently played the game before the first season started, and I can, I guess, vouch that it has gotten better and it is fun. So I'm excited to try it out. I think you re-downloaded it.
Yes.
True. Yeah, we'll have to do that after vacation. Next nugget, publisher Capcom announced that they will hold a 35-minute showcase event on June 13th that will focus on previously announced games. However, Dragon's Dogma director Hideaki Itsuno did share the announcement on social media this week, which has led to speculation of a Dragon's Dogma 2 announcement. There is also speculation that multiplayer game Resident Evil Reverse will be there as well, reappear from the dead. Publisher, let me back up for a second. Capcom also, I think said that Exoprimal game will be there, which is the third-person cooperative shooter where you shoot dinosaurs from portals,
From
which looks
Portals?
really dope. Yeah, I'll send you. I've sent you the trailer last year or earlier this year when it was announced, I
Mm.
think, but I'll resend it to you so you can see. Also, publisher Square Enix announced that they have reversed course and will no longer use money from the sale of Crystal Dynamics and IDOS to invest in NFTs or blockchain.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's dying already.
Yeah.
There was also, by the way, did you see the big cryptocurrency heist?
No, did not see this.
Just Google it, but like it literally dropped the value of one of the currencies to $0.
Oh my god.
It completely wiped it out.
Holy shit. No, I hadn't seen that. Next nugget. Tetris Effect, Luminous, and Res producer Tetsuya Mizuguchi. My Gucci.
That's a
Told
fucking name.
it is. He he told VGC that he is quote unquote very interested in working on a PSVR 2 game. Also, insider Jez Corden claimed this week that a new Crash Bandicoot game is in the works at Crash 4 developer and Activision studio Toys for Bob. Interesting. There is rumors that it is the Crash Bash game, which is like a platform
Mhm.
brawler.
Like we said the other day, we texted each other and we're like, we're just in this brawler phase.
Yeah, we really are. Multiverses is good though, but I can't imagine all the rest. Also, publisher Square Enix announced plans to hold a Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary stream or Steam there, as I said, on June 16th,
Mhm.
where presumably part 2 of the remake will be revealed. They've characterized it as a short and sweet. The Grammys are adding a video game soundtrack category for next year's ceremony. The award will be called Best Score Soundtrack for Video Games and Other Interactive Media. Kind of neat, I guess. Website GamesIndustry.biz reported that the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund has acquired an 8.1% stake in Swedish mega corporation Embracer Group. The purchase cost Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and his investment fund $1 billion. This is a fucking problem. Now we got the Saudis buying up Embracer Group, our favorites. So now every time we buy a game made by Embracer, which is, I mean, dozens upon dozens of developers at this point, now some of our money is going to fund Saudis. They're horseshit.
Yeah, they also own soccer teams. They're everywhere now.
Yeah, not good. Not a good thing.
It's like the the Middle Eastern Beverly Hillbillies.
It's not good. It's not good. Also, French developer Zadrime Time.
I love it. That's amazing.
That is amazing. Zadrime Time has hired
you'd leave that in?
has hired the former studio director of Arcane Leon, Romuald Carpon, as executive producer of its first ever game, a platforming adventure game called Darwin's Paradox. It is scheduled to launch sometime in 2024. Indie publisher Annapurna Interactive announced that they have hired 3 staffers from Solar Ash developer Heart Machine to manage its new unannounced internal project. Annapurna also announced that they will hold their next game showcase on July the 28th. Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney warned Fortnite players this week of an ongoing cryptocurrency scam revolving around the game that he is the company's lawyers working round the clock on. Ubisoft's remake of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time has been delayed yet again, and now will not be released until sometime after June 30th of 2023.
Talk about Sands of Time. That's what this game's fallen into.
Between this and the fucking pirate game, Skull and Bones, what are they doing? Also, website Push Square reported that the House of the Dead remake patched in PlayStation Move support for use with the light guns for the full arcade experience this week.
God, people still use that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All
A new update for Godfall has added variable refresh rate support on PS5 this week. Sony Bend Studio revealed a new logo this week, if that means anything to you. They also confirmed that their in-development game includes multiplayer. We have no idea what they're working on, but there is rumor that it could be a Men in Black game, which I don't know how I feel about that. PlayStation Plus game Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl got full voice acting and character items added in a patch this week. The voice actor who will play Thor in God of War Ragnarok revealed that he has completed his quote-unquote last bit of work on the game. Sci-fi horror game The Callisto Protocol will include PlayStation exclusive content when it launches on December 2nd. Original Game Boy Color platformer Shantae is making its way to PS4 and PS5 on August 26th. Hand-animated point-and-click adventure game The Many Pieces of Mr. Koo comes to PS4 and PS5 at some point in the future. Xbox executive Matt Booty said in a media briefing this week, quote, "If we acquire a game that comes with a big community across a number of platforms, the last thing we want to do is take something away," end quote, meaning take away from other platforms like PlayStation. I believe that when I see it. Also, Dying Light developer Techland has officially ended post-launch support for the original game, culminating in the Definitive Edition, which is free for owners of Platinum Edition. Data miner HypeX claimed this week that Epic Games is internally testing a first-person mode for Fortnite. 40-player wrestling-themed battle royale game Rumbleverse from developer Iron Galaxy is holding an open beta on PS4 and PS5 on Saturday, June the 11th.
See, I don't think that this is a terrible idea.
You mean the concept of the game?
Yeah, this could be interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I tried to get in the first beta or whatever it was a couple of months ago, and I couldn't get it to work, so I have no idea.
Why don't you email them and use our podcast pool?
Yeah. We're not there yet. We're working on it. Also, file sizes for native PlayStation 5 versions of Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7 were spotted this week by PlayStation Game Size. They will likely be out the week you're listening. Developer Milestone announced that they are making another motorcycle racing game called SBK 22 for PS4 and PS5. It will launch on September the 15th. Widely held as one of the worst games ever made, 3DO system game Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is getting a physical port and release on PS4 and PS5 in the second half of this year.
You know that I'm interested.
Yeah, I figured.
I just have to see what is the worst. I have to see the worst.
Mm-hmm. Also, French publisher Nacon will host their Nacon Connect showcase on July 7th, featuring updates on Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, which has been delayed to 2023, The Lord of the Rings Gollum, Robocop Rogue City, Steel Rising, and more. I totally had forgotten they were making a Robocop game. Yeah, that sounds fucking awesome. They're a very interesting publisher. The next entry in Legend of Heroes series JRPGs called Trails to Azure, a sequel to Trails from Zero, was announced to be coming in early 2023. First person, third person hybrid fighting game Final Fury was announced to be coming to PSVR 2 in 2023. Narrative driven, desolate open world game The Silent Swan is coming to PS4 and PS5 in the fourth quarter of this year. Website PlayStation Lifestyle reported that Sony is apparently capping PlayStation Plus extra and premium tier upgrade fees at $100 for premium and $65 for extra, after users in Japan who were facing excessive upgrade fees were told by the Sony Japan Support Center that the premium upgrade fee has been capped at $100 and $65 for the extra. So it's very, very good because, as we talked about a few weeks back, people were having to pay hundreds or sometimes thousands of dollars if they're stacked far enough. Also, publisher Square Enix revealed in an investors briefing last month that they are developing a new Just Cause game. A recently published patent application from Sony Interactive Entertainment suggests the company is interested in the idea of allowing the DualSense controller touchpad to be used for handwriting and drawing. PlayStation has ran into another problem related to the quote unquote technical error on PlayStation Plus pricing in Asia, as players are being compensated 10 cents for the recent error rather than the promised 10 US dollars.
That's hilarious.
Somebody's got to move the zeros around, guys, or the decimal, I mean. Oh, fucking hell. That's great. Next nugget, website PlayStation Universe reported that the following games received update patches this week: Sniper Elite 5, Horizon Forbidden West, Fortnite, Battlefield 2042, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, Path of Exile, Warframe, Dauntless, MLB The Show 22, Gran Turismo 7, Dead by Daylight, Destiny 2, and Minecraft. Also, Call of Duty Warzone 2.0 will not allow you to transfer your current Warzone progress and items when it launches. A new trailer for first-person shooter Atomic Heart reiterates that the game is releasing in late 2022 after rumors of a delay to next year. Also, Naughty Dog revealed that The Last of Us Part 2 has sold more than 10 million copies as of the spring. Journalist Jeff Grubb leaked plot details of Netflix's in-development Horizon Zero Dawn series. Grubb claims that the show will be called Horizon 2074 and will be split between the timeline you see in the games and the timeline of where civilization begins to fall. He also said that he's heard they're filming in Toronto.
And then the cool part about this is it takes place 3 years before Cyberpunk.
I noticed that too. I immediately thought that. I was like, what the fuck? They couldn't even pick a different decade.
Right. So yeah,
Like,
yeah, you at least make it 2174 or something.
yeah. What the fuck? Next nugget, developer Firaxis revealed that their original tactical strategy series XCOM is quote unquote definitely not dead. Okay. Website Gamatsu reported that skateboarding sim game Session Skate Sim will launch on PS4 and PS5 on September 22nd. Psychological thriller Loretta was announced for PS4, but no release date was given. Bill and Ted's Excellent Retro Collection is headed to PS4 and PS5, and it will include NES game Bill and Ted's Excellent Video Game Adventure and Game Boy game Bill and Ted's Excellent Game Boy Adventure, A Bogus Journey. No release date was given. A Boy and His Blob Retro Collection will also come to PS4 and PS5 at some point in the future as well. It will include NES game A Boy and His Blob Trouble on Blob Blobalonia. Jesus Christ. And Game Boy game The Rescue of Princess Blobette. Also, side-scrolling action game Rendering Ranger R2 was announced to be coming to PS4 and PS5, but no release date was given. Side-scrolling platformer Lunark will launch on PS4 and PS5 sometime late this year. Roguelite dungeon crawler Dungeon Drafters was announced for PS4, but no release date was given. Monster taming RPG Abami Nation is coming to PS4 at some point in the future. Cooperative side-scrolling action game Death Wish Enforcers was announced for PS4 and PS5, but no release date was given. Roguelite platformer Fire Girl Hack and Splash Rescue DX will launch on PS4 and PS5 on June 22nd. Developer NCSoft announced Project M, an interactive movie game in development for consoles, although no platforms or release date were given. The game is said to feature lifelike graphics and cinematic production. Developer Flying Wild Hog will launch third-person cooperative shooter Evil West for PS4 and PS5 on September 20th. The game looks really cool. Management sim game F1 Manager 2022 will launch on PS4 and PS5 on August 25th. Travis is rock hard for this one.
Shit's on my wish list.
Shit, oh, you got one on your wish list finally?
I have that, and I have another
Uh-huh.
one actually. I have two. What's the other one I have on there?
Wow. Check out this gamer. Check out the brains on Brett.
Hey, dude, like you said, it's pretty in depth. I'll get lost in that game. It'll take me forever to figure out how to fucking play. You can also get fired on that game, by the way.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
I'll be fired before the first season's over.
Next nugget. A demo dropped this week for mystery shoot 'em up game Eurokill the Calumniation Games on PS4 and PS5. Developer Q Games announced that the revamped version of 2016 PlayStation free-to-play title The Tomorrow Children, Phoenix Edition, will launch on PS4 and PS5 later this year. But as a reminder, it will be a premium title this time around. Deliver Us Mars will launch on PS4 and PS5 on September 27th with a 10% discount for pre-orders on the PlayStation Store.
Oh, by the way, the F1 Manager game also has a 10% discount for pre-orders on the PS Store.
Oh, so you pre-ordered it?
No, just no.
Also, Kadokawa Games has canceled development on a sequel Metal Max Wild West. 4-player cooperative adventure game Ghostbusters VR from developer In Dreams will now come to PSVR 2 when it launches. Roguelike cult management game Cult of the Lamb will launch on PS4 and PS5 on August 11th. Action adventure platformer The Plucky Square, I think it's actually The Plucky Squire, was announced and will launch on PS5 sometime in 2023. Action RPG Grand Blue Fantasy Relink has been delayed out of 2022 and will now release sometime in 2023 on both PS4 and PS5. Action game Gungrave Gore will launch on PS4 and PS5 this fall. Cooperative third-person shooter Aliens Fireteam Elite will be getting an expansion called Pathogen on August 30th. Hyperkinetic first-person shooter Severed Steel will launch on PS4 and PS5 on July 20th. Developer Black Isle Studios will bring Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 to PS4 and PS5 sometime this summer. The game originally released on PS2 back in January of 2004. Multiplayer arena brawler Gigabash will launch on PS4 and PS5 on August 5th. PlayStation China Hero Project stealth action game Evo Tinction has added a PS5 version, and it will launch in the spring of 2023 for both PS4 and PS5. Hybrid hack and slash melee and third-person shooter game Wanted Dead has added a PS4 version and will launch on both PS4 and PS5 in the fourth quarter of this year. Watch the trailer for that. The game looks pretty cool. And finally, Gamatsu reported that developer Pixelated Milk has delayed 90s-inspired RPG Sacrifier from 2022, the year of our Lord, to sometime in 2023. And that is all for the news this week. I'll now turn it over to Travis for our new game releases.
On June the 6th, D-Day, we had Lost Ruins, Heart of the Woods, Super Arcade Racing. On the 7th, we have Spellforce 3. That's a terrible name. The Jumping Fries. On June the 8th, we have No Time to Relax, Noel the Mortal Fate, Super Impossible Road, The Jumping Fries Turbo, one day after The Jumping Fries. That's a really quick sequel.
That is.
And They Always Run. On June the 9th, we have Arcade Archives Motos, Delivery from the Pain, Fruitakia 2, Industria, Squarekeeper, Tour de France 2022, Will Die Alone. On the 10th, we have Freshly Frosted. It's about cereal. Jurassic Pinball, which sounds fun. Metal Max Xeno Reborn, The Quarry, The Wizard and the Slug, and finally Zeus Quest, The Rebirth of the Earth.
All right, so a pretty lengthy list of new releases this week, but the big one I think is definitely The Quarry,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of them, I could take them or leave it. You'll have to report back when your friends or people at work what they say about The Quarry.
Mm-hmm.
We can see about that. All right, let's start to wrap the show up, Travis, like we always do by discussing what we have been playing or anything that we're looking forward to. So, what have you been up to? What have you been up to?
I think the only thing I played this week was Insurgency. I think I actually did really well. We play those guys we were playing with were actually pretty funny. They're like young.
Yeah, they were cracking me up.
They're having a blast. But no, actually I did pretty well. I was middle of the pack most of the time, which is good. As long as it's not at the bottom, I'm having a good time. I got doped a couple of times. I actually tried to be the marksman, which I've never really done that before. So I played around with the marksman for a little bit. It's nice. It's really satisfying to get a kill if when you're the marksman. Like it feels so nice. It's crisp. You can like you just blow people apart basically. Like yeah, it's a good time. But it's slow. Like if you miss, you're kind of in a tight spot. Drove the car a few times. Shot the gun on the back a few times on the big truck. Also, we were getting shot at one time when I was driving us into a death trap, and it was like press circle to duck, and like I was pressing circle, and all I was doing was getting shot. So,
Yeah, it did that to me too. I think that's a glitch.
so yeah, that worked really well. But no, it was a blast. I'm sure once I get back from vacation that we'll try the new Battlefield update, see what that's about, and then we'll be closing in on the new F1 game, and I think that
Hmm.
by the time I get back, they'll have had another Gran Turismo update that will have added 3 cars. So hopefully they will have fixed some of their driving issues that are on the game before then.
Yeah, and then probably raise the prices on the cars again and piss everybody off.
For sure.
Well, I also played Insurgency with you as well, and we did that over the weekend. And I tried the marksman a little bit too. I'm not very good at it because I think I get too close. You know, I'm not. I'm because I'm used to being like up close and in the buildings and shit. So that didn't work out for me. But yeah, we played just all humans this time. We didn't play any of the AI modes. Played all the real people. Yeah, it's fun. It's a great game. I'm really excited to see what the PS5 update does for the game, the next gen version.
Hmm.
Because I think if they can like, I mean, the game looks fine and the guns look good and the sound looks good and everything, but if they can like upgrade the like textures of everything, and then I didn't really play a lot this week in terms of like number of games, but I played a shit ton of Crusader Kings 3. I mean, I played a fucking shit ton. I recorded like 4 episodes for YouTube. Just all manner of things happen. As a matter of fact, it got really sideways on me because it got really sideways on me because my wife
Hmm.
died
Oh no.
and she was a Spanish, yeah, oh no. And she is a Spanish lady. Her name was Zamina.
Mm.
And I had a son with her. He was my heir. And because he was her son, she at some point had gained a duchy. So she was the Duchess of Asturia, which I think is Spanish, at least back then. But
I thought a duchy was a
anyway,
joint.
I mean, it could be now, but not back then. So she was the Duchess of Asturia, and my son inherited was the heir to not only my titles but her titles as well. And so she died early, young, like unexpectedly, and he inherited her title of the Duke of Asturia, whatever. And you're wondering, well, okay, why is that a big problem? That seems like that's fine. That checks out, right? Sure, that would check out fine if for not the fact that I had not given my son a title higher than Duke in Ireland. So therefore, when he took that as his primary title, the Duke of Asturia, which means that the area piece of territory that I had given him in Ireland then became part of that kingdom. So there was just a random part of Asturia in the middle of Ireland because he he was my like earl in that territory, because the title that he inherited was higher in rank than the one that I'd given him. It made that part of that country. So I was like, oh my God, this is a disaster. And I needed that piece of land to be able to form the Kingdom of Ireland. Well, not only that, but then shortly after that, my character died. So he inherited all of my property. And so then all of Southern Ireland was Asturia after that.
What
And it
character are
was,
you now that you're dead?
I'm now that I died, I'm him. I'm my son.
So now you own
So
Asteria and Ireland?
so now all of Southern Ireland, like if you took Ireland and you cut it in half, the southern part of Ireland is all Asturia. It's no longer Ireland, it's Asturia. Because of that with my shit with my wife. So I was like, and my whole point of all this was to form the Kingdom of Ireland. And so it totally derailed everything. So literally when my wife died, and then when I died, within minutes of each other, on the I'm recording on a video, and I'm just like, oh my fucking God, what the fuck? And I was just like, all right, we're gonna end it here. So I ended the video, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. So I reloaded an older save and I fixed it.
Okay, good.
So what I did was, knowing what was about to happen or what could happen, I gave my son a title that was equal to me, which created a whole nother set of problems, which I'll talk about at another point, just to let you guys watch it. Making my son my equal made him independent of me, is the long story short. Anyway, it created a whole nother set of issues. But yeah, that's all I played this week. A shit ton of Crusader Kings 3, played some Insurgency over the weekend. That's really it. But Crusader Kings 3, I think right now is my game of the year. It's really fucking phenomenal. And it's neck and neck with Horizon Forbidden West, but I think Horizon is 2 for me right now, and Crusader Kings 3 is 1. We'll see if that holds up. But man, what a fucking game. Anyway, that's all I've been playing, and that's all we've been playing this week, and we are headed out the door on vacation. So we will not talk to you normally next week. We have a special episode lined up for you. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe so that you will get a new show delivered to you every Monday on your podcast service. Also, if you could rate us with stars or hearts or thumbs up or whatever your podcast service uses, that would be much appreciated, as would a written review, as both would help us fight the algorithm, which is always holding us down, always keeping a podcast down. And don't forget to also find us on social media. Twitter at the DualSense Pod is our primary one. Would love to hear from you and to talk PlayStation. We can also find us on Instagram, the DualSense Podcast, where we share virtual photography. We're on Facebook as well. And we have a blog, which is the DualSensePodcast.wordpress.com. So find us wherever you please and let's talk. You guys take care. We'll talk at you in a couple of weeks. Bye bye.